Yeah, so we're
Hello,
talking about intimacy with your spouse. Your
Akinola-Adetoros.
spouse.
Something is showing here. See this? Look at me here. Abi, is it here? Showing.
MK,
Hmm?
is this okay like this?
It's good, good. Bring
What
it
else
close.
is
Bring it
there?
closer. Hello,
Hi
everyone.
guys.
Welcome to the AAs.
It is what?
Sorry. Welcome to Crucial Conversations with the AAs. Yay!
Tara.
And we always start with saying we are
Citizens
citizens
of
of God's
God's
kingdom.
kingdom. We're
We are
ambassadors
ambassadors
of
of God's
God's
kingdom.
kingdom.
We are here on earth to establish God's kingdom. We
We
live
live
for
for God
God
and
and God
God
alone.
alone. Jesus
Jesus
is
is
our
our
light,
light, and we're
and we're
going
going
to
to
let
let
it
it shine.
shine. Glory to God.
Glory.
So,
Today.
today, I'm going to be the one interviewing
Like,
yours
why? I
truly.
think I should be the one interviewing you.
Well,
You're the man with the utterance. I'm your wife.
and that also means that your utterance has, been bestowed upon you by reason of,
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
yeah.
It's okay.
So, today we're going to be talking about intimacy with your spouse.
Mm.
And it's not going to be the regular one that you're used to. It's
Uh-uh.
going to be quite interesting. We'll
Wait, is
shake
it me
up.
that talk this thing?
Yeah,
Ha,
it's gonna
wow.
be a bit different. So pay
Okay.
attention. It's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be intellectual. It's going
Uh,
to be mind blowing, impactful, and it's definitely going to be worth remembering. All right. So
superficial,
let's get right into it.
super.
Let's start with an intro of what we talked about before. Intimacy. So what is intimacy for those who haven't watched the previous videos?
I think we define intimacy as deep, close connection
Yeah,
with someone.
exactly.
Yeah, and then we did intimacy with God,
Yeah,
intimacy with others,
yeah.
and I mean you can go check out those
You're gonna
videos.
love them.
Yeah, and today we're talking about
Intimacy with your spouse.
intimacy with your
So tell
spouse.
me, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about that phrase, intimacy with your spouse?
I think for me, I would say that it's sort of like a fun journey, really, with
Okay.
somebody, like coming to unite with, coming to know someone,
Mm,
which is like this one person,
yeah.
right? It's meant to be one person, but I mean
Mm,
things happen. But one person, and then you're going to be on a lifelong journey
mm,
of knowing this person.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, really.
That's great. So while we're sort of like getting through the intro, um, I know some things are going on in people's minds that oh, intimacy with your spouse, they're about to spill the beans. No, 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 no.
What beans are you
It,
talking about?
uh, okay. So well,
Okay.
to make it more interesting,
Yeah.
let's talk about should I say categories of this particular kind of intimacy
Intimacy.
so that people get to know,
Yeah.
you
So
know,
I think, sometimes maybe I'm not sure, but maybe
mm,
when we talk, just like you said, when we talk about intimacy,
yeah,
maybe what comes to mind first is like sex with your partner,
mm,
with your spouse. But I believe, in my opinion, that um like the real intimacy is not sexual.
tell
Yeah.
me about it.
Like it's possible to have sex with anybody and actually not be
Intimate.
intimate with the
Mm,
person, especially for, I mean, based on what I hear,
mm,
especially for the men,
mm,
right? So I think when you are getting married to somebody, right,
mm,
you're getting married to everything about the person.
mm,
Basically, you are getting married, you are being united.
mm.
And then humans, like, we are spirits, we have a soul, and we
And
live
we
in a
live in the
body.
body.
So I believe that
Mm,
any intimacy,
mm,
like intimacy with your spouse, should cover that bond, like bonding and closeness with his spirit, soul, and body. And you as a person, you are also spirit, you have a soul, and you live in the body. So I think
wow.
that's like the layers of intimacy
Wow.
with your
Wow.
spouse.
So layers of intimacy, spiritual and body.
Yeah,
I'm loving this conversation already.
yeah.
So when we're talking about the spiritual body, can we take it from the spirit part?
Yeah, so I think, in the spirit part, I mean, when you go to the beginning,
Mm,
right, everything starts like you see
from the
God's
beginning, yeah.
template from the beginning,
Yeah.
where He says God come to them at the cool of the evening, and
Mm-hmm.
then just have a communion. So it's more like, how am I gonna say it? Bringing your spouse into your intimacy with God. and bringing each other
Mm.
really into your intimacy with God, into that Tosin sang Father to Son, Spirit to Spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so bringing your spouse into that. So
What's the practical way it can be done?
I think it comes in praying together,
Praying together,
studying the Bible
studying
together.
the Bible
So
together.
it doesn't necessarily have to be like, let me say, for example, now for the studying the Bible, I feel like it shouldn't be like one strenuous, rigid stuff, because
Yeah.
everybody have. I mean, I remember when we used to pray together,
Mm.
how that I sort of struggled with we praying
Yeah,
together, and
yeah.
then I know
I
you
remember
were
it
so
was a bit.
concerned.
I was
I
like,
mean, we were not married then. You're so concerned that, like they say, alligator and lizard before marriage will not turn to alligator
alligator
afterwards. So
after
you were
marriage.
just worried that this lizard of a habit.
Saying at the year.
But I think, it was just that journey. We prayed together. We had a time where we prayed
Mm.
together, but you were patient enough to wait for me to
Yeah, actually.
grow and journey. So I
Mm.
think practically, spend time together
Yeah.
praying, worshiping God,
Mm.
loving upon God together. Like
Mm.
both of you are doing it together. And also in your Bible reading and Bible study,
Mm.
I think even if you don't maybe do it together, if you can do it together, fine. But even if you don't, I
Mm.
feel like your meditations you should be able to
Mm.
share with your
Okay.
spouse. You don't just
Mm.
keep it to yourself or only share it with people. I feel like the deepest part of your like the person that should see you most
Mm.
in your spirit, in your walk with God,
Mm-hmm.
should be your spouse,
Mm. I
right?
agree,
Because
100%.
like it should be your spouse. It shouldn't be another person,
Mm.
you
When you say
know.
see you most, like sharing the encounters, the
Encounters,
dreams, the
yes,
words,
yes,
the insights, the deep
yes,
revelations
yes,
and all whatnot.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So you mentioned studying, praying,
Mm,
sharing encounters with one another,
yeah.
and which other one?
No,
Reading the Bible together.
yeah. Even if
So
you don't
four.
read the Bible together, like
Mm. And I guess there
talk
are very
about
more
it.
creative ways, but I mean
Yeah,
these four are like general
yeah,
categories. So let's go to the soul part.
yeah,
Say spirit, soul, and body. So
yeah.
let's talk about the soul part.
Yeah, I think, generally, right, there's a claim of which I believe is
Mm.
true, that the soul is the seat of your, or let me say mind. So just to use it
Mind, will, and
interchangeably,
mm.
your will, your emotions, your
Mm.
thoughts, your
Mm.
memories, especially your will and emotions,
Mm.
your intellect.
Mm.
That's where your soul, that's where
Mm.
these faculties are. So I feel
Mm.
like, that intimacy involves being aware of what's going on in the mind, in
Mm.
the emotions of your spouse,
Being
in
aware.
the yes, being
Mm.
aware, like being
Interesting.
carried along, like being not just aware, involved.
Being involved.
Yes, being
Okay.
involved in their intellect,
When you say intellect, do you mean like, okay, I'm reasoning
logic.
about something in life
Yes,
and
like let's say your spouse is doing research, you
mm,
shouldn't be like, I believe like the person that should be very aware
mm,
of whatever your spouse is doing should be you.
should be you.
And there could be that thing of it's not that deep. Well,
Mm,
it depends on how deep you want to be with your spouse,
mm,
because the depth of that connection you have with your
mm,
spouse, would actually determine how well their soul will rate you
mm.
in their
Could it be, what about people that cannot really measure on that heavy intellectual level? For example,
you
the
train.
husband is a programmer and the wife is an economist, for
Okay.
example, and she doesn't know anything about program language and is involved in this huge project. So, and then he's like, when he's trying to share things, what can be done in that kind of scenario?
Okay, so I think when it comes to programming, I mean, there's the coding, right? I really
Or
don't know.
let's say, let's never say program. Let's say the husband is into politics and the wife is into teaching.
So let me come back to that programming.
Mm,
So there's like coding,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So soul intimacy does not necessarily mean that she should know how to code, but she
Mm,
should be informed on the basic programming language.
okay.
The even if she if
By who? By him or by on her own?
Ask him questions.
Interesting.
Yes, ask him.
So asking questions is the way to build
Yes,
solical intimacy.
yes. Ask him
Interesting.
questions. Spend time talking.
Okay.
Yes,
What if he
like
doesn't have time?
then you shouldn't be married.
Wow.
Yes, if you're not willing to commit to
Nice.
intimacy with your spouse,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be married. You should be committed to that thing that you're doing.
So not
But
having time is not a negotiable.
it's
Is it
not in a,
non-negotiable?
yeah, like I remember Pastor Annie mentioned I think while he was I can't remember the
Mm.
sermon
Oh
where
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I
he
remember.
said, you are married, but you also have ministry, and then
Mm.
every time you're committed to your ministry and all of
You
that,
should never be married.
then you should never have been married.
True.
Like, don't stress, don't stress it. Don't say,
Mm.
I don't have time, because the Bible says, who wants to build a house? Will you
We are
not first
counting the
count the
cost.
cost? So, one of the cost of
Marriage is time with your
marriage
spouse.
is intimacy.
Oh.
Yes,
Hmm.
it's intimacy. Like, if you're not ready to be intimate with somebody,
Mm.
it's not like, oh, don't get married, but I just pause a little,
And
really,
think about
and
true,
think
true.
about it, and think about it. So yeah, I think so. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be that you need to know all the
Mm.
terminologies,
But at least
right?
have a good
Have an idea,
basic knowledge.
and if it actually means you learning coding,
Mm.
learn it. It's
It's
really
true.
fun
It's true.
when your spouse have some language that is in your own utterance.
Mm.
Like, oh, you get it. There's some,
You're
like,
able to communicate.
yes, you,
Yeah.
you understand.
I
So
noticed you done that too. Some things I've learned
that
and
you
then
do that,
you went to go and learn.
I
Not because you had an interest, but you just
so
you just
something
went to learn
happened.
it.
There was this skill that you were learning, and you needed an accountability partner, and
Yeah.
I couldn't be so
If you didn't know
accountable
anything about
because
it, yeah.
I didn't know so much. So I was you were accountable, like, I was your accountability partner, but
True.
because I didn't understand
Mm.
the intricacy of the skill, I
Mm.
couldn't really be that
Person.
person. So I
Mm.
think there was this person that was like sort of that, and then
Yeah.
he sort of
It's,
now
he
did
slightly.
something, slide you. So I just made up my mind, you know
Mm.
what, I'm going to learn this thing. And I learned it, and it was so beautiful. Like, I understand the emotions, where you're coming from and everything. And it's really fun. And interestingly, that journey also opened me up to me. There's a lot of deliverance that happened to me,
Are you
and
serious?
awareness that happened to, for example, greed.
Mm.
I got exposed to the fact that, oh, there's some greed somewhere in my heart. So yeah, basically.
So that's very beautiful. So we've talked
Mm,
about spirit. So and one thing we've established is the fact that spending time with your spouse to build intimacy is non-negotiable. In fact, it's part of the requirements for being married. I mean,
mm,
remember when it says God came to Adam in the cool of the day. So in building intimacy, time is a requirement,
yeah.
and in that time, making the most of it.
Mm,
If you are pressed for time, if you notice, the world we live in today is practically designed to steal your
your
time away
time.
from
Yeah.
intimacy. Your time to
Intimacy.
spend with God, your time to
Yeah.
spend with family, your time to spend
Yeah.
with, and you're spending time chasing things that
Things
God in the actual design made those things to chase you
chase you. Yeah.
by a function of you being in your assignment part time.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of a, you know, conflict,
Mm.
of interest. The world system is designed to ensure don't make them have time for God or for their family
Maybe
and reduce that
I
intimacy.
noticed something. I just felt like something was wrong. You're meant to sit down here, and I'm meant to sit down there.
It's fine. Today I'm the one interviewing you, so that's why I picked this spot so that I can register my mind. Because if I sit
Like,
down here,
what's happening?
maybe the utterance is on this. I sat down there enough, so you just carry the utterance. So let's move on to still on that soul intimacy. I think that's one of the areas where a lot of couples still struggle
Yeah.
because people can easily grow apart because there's so many things this person is
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
Even on, like, okay, for example, let me share some things, or let me just say things like reading books together,
Yeah.
knowledge balance.
Yeah.
You are reading like 5 books in a month, and your spouse is not even reading any book, and then you have attained these heights,
Yeah.
of knowledge, and
Mm.
then you are trying to have a conversation and mention some things, and she's lost, and you're
She's
like,
lost.
what sort of thing is? But don't
And
forget,
yeah.
you are the bridegroom. You are meant to groom the bride.
Yeah.
So when God comes to ask you, "I is the bride," and you are saying, she's not serious," God is like, "Oh wow, I put you as a
Mm.
gardener in a garden to tend the flower, your wife,
Yeah.
and then you are telling me you don't know what's wrong with the flower."
Yeah.
So what will happen if I was the one that employed you? I'll fire you
Yeah.
because I'm like, "Oh, you don't know what's wrong with the flower I put you
Yeah.
to take care of." So
Mm.
that mindset helps us as husbands to know that okay, your responsibility is to help to groom your spouse, and your
Yeah.
spouse's responsibility is to also respond in terms of also helping to groom you in other areas,
Yeah.
where they're like. So one of the things marriage should help you to do is to see that what areas can I help her to grow, what areas can she help me to grow,
Yeah.
skill wise, even societal skills.
Yeah.
All of those things are still on the
Yeah.
intellectual level. Even when you go to certain kind of venues, how should you
Yeah.
comport yourself?
Yeah.
What are the nuances of, should I say, introduction? How do you
Yeah.
introduce yourself? If your wife is better at it, she should teach you.
Yeah.
Just that blend. Even cooking. The man has zero on cooking. She can teach him one or two.
Mm.
Let him be proud of the fact that he can
Yeah, and
cook
you
something.
should also be willing
Yeah.
to
It's not good in
yeah.
quotes for a man to just say, "Oh no, me, I don't do cooking, anything cooking, I'm not interested." No, you should be interested
Mm.
because it's anything can happen. So what if she's not feeling fine today? The whole family will be, you understand? And if you are
And
in a
maybe you
house
can
where,
buy food now.
well, but if she doesn't like eating outside food, so and if you are in a house where okay, you
Yeah.
are well to do, you have cooks that are cooking for
Mm.
you and all of that. Sometimes you try and do things together.
Mm.
It helps you tell the cook, don't come today. Then you go to the market together.
Yeah.
Do the things that you have to be creative. You have to be
Mm.
intentional about
Mm.
spiritual intimacy, social intimacy. Let's move to the last part. This is body intimacy. In the next few
Physical
2-3
intimacy.
minutes, we can just
Yeah.
address that.
Yeah. So I think if um it's easier to enjoy physical intimacy with somebody that you bonded with spirit and soul.
That's very true.
So easy because at
Mm.
that, like, you're not trying to perform.
Mm.
You're
Being
being
yourself
yourself.
brings a lot of
You're
wisdom.
being real.
Mm.
You're not trying to
Be.
you're not trying to be,
Mm.
to meet up to an
Standard.
expectation,
Mm. I
and
agree.
and then, you know, I think um it just makes physical intimacy beautiful. Now, in the context of physical intimacy, I think, aside sex,
Mm.
there are other things,
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
like, touch.
Mm. Just play in the
You're
house
just
for goodness
playing,
sake.
yeah, just playing, yeah, just playing,
You understand?
actually,
Play.
just play, and
Good
then,
morning, good morning. Fun now.
yeah, hold hands,
And that just carry her like this. You shake her and put
just,
her down. Or if she's bigger than
yeah,
you cannot play with her legs. She shakes the leg very well. You know.
and then, yeah, sex too.
And let me share one. It's a secret. Should I
Okay,
say it?
sure.
If you are married, back together a lot is very for
Yeah,
those that are married. If you are watching this and you've not tried it before,
give it a
very
shot.
important.
Yeah,
Make it a regular
yeah.
occurrence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, back together. Even if you
Mm-hmm.
have tight schedule in the evening, back together,
Mm-hmm.
and then have conversations with them. You find we got this secret from Coach Bisi Adewale.
Yeah.
He said it, and then hug at least 3-4 times in a day. If
Mm.
you don't see for long hours, if you are distant, have video calls for
Yeah.
long hours. Like bridge that gap.
Bridget.
You know, you need to be able to,
I
but
feel,
that's still like soul level.
I feel like no matter how, I don't know, I feel like no matter how
Mm,
successful or how fast you are running
mm,
as a person,
mm,
if you're not intimate with your spouse, you are
mm.
risking your speed.
True, true.
You are risking like everything is at risk.
Mm,
And I think maybe this was probably what happened with Adam and Eve, because that length of discussion that
mm.
happened with Eve and Satan, where was Adam?
That's a question that
Like, where was he?
we don't have the answers. Everybody can easily
Because,
say, "Oh, Eve, 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 Eve," but the
yeah,
question is,
where was
who
he?
gave that environment the opportunity? Because you are in charge of the garden, so meaning that somebody entered your garden that's not
And
supposed to be in your garden,
like, he's
and he spent so much time
so
with
basically,
building
what made
intimacy.
her take a physical action was because there was a soul like her soul interacted with
Mm,
the wrong kind of
true,
knowledge,
true.
and it prompted an action. So what happens when
So
you're
good.
not intimate with your spouse?
Mm,
You would realize that you might end up being like married to somebody you don't
you
know.
don't know.
You
Makes a
don't
lot of
even know
sense.
this person. You don't even know how they think.
Mm,
And yeah, that's physical,
mm,
presence. Like,
mm,
be physically present,
mm,
hug, kiss.
mm. Yeah, kids at least if it starts out by having a rule based approach, sometimes being intentional requires you to write some
Yeah,
things down.
my
We kiss
mechanical,
we kiss
yes,
5 times
before,
a day, we
before,
bath once a day, we hug 3 times a
yes, it
day.
might look
It
like,
might look like,
ah,
but when you
no,
try it, you find out that,
I
oh
want to be
wow,
spontaneous, but sometimes
spontaneity can
some,
be
so,
forgotten when you are full with life challenges. So
yeah,
you say,
yeah,
we've not hugged today. When some people pray 5 times a day, it's recorded to keep
yeah,
understand. So when you say
structure,
we hug 5 times a day, so you hug in the morning, you hug 4 times in the evening,
yeah,
we hug after eating, we
yeah,
hug, you understand?
yeah,
And then you have just have good structure. So
yeah,
I think we're sort of out of time.
yeah.
But any rounding statements?
Yeah, I think I feel like in this table of
Mm,
intimacy, sex is like the
you call.
babala, but that's
We'll
like,
refer you to Coach Vera, Wholesome Sexuality. Go and check
yeah,
it out
yeah,
on YouTube,
yeah,
on Instagram. Everything you want
yeah.
to know about that part,
But I
she's there
think
for
what
you.
one thing I want to say is that when it comes to sex, sexual intimacy is developed. Like
Yeah,
I
it's
think
not.
I heard it from
Yeah.
um Dr. Kingsley Okonkwo that
Mm,
sexual compatibility is not
mm,
discovered, it's
it's developed.
developed,
Yeah, that's true.
So you might come into
Mm,
marriage maybe
mm,
having your some
mm,
expectations and all of that. But I mean, if you intend to wait till being married
mm,
before you have sex,
mm.
there are some things that you might be discovering when you get married,
True.
and just that journey of, hey, it's a journey,
Mm.
enjoy it.
Enjoy the journey.
Basically.
Yeah.
And there's some things you might find out that you're like, oh, I didn't know about this and all of that. So
Mm,
just it's you and your spouse,
mm.
really enjoy each
So it's,
other
it's it's really a beautiful,
forever.
beautiful journey. So we're going to leave you with that today, and we want you to go, look at everything we talked about, think about it, pray about it, talk to your spouse about it. How
Yeah.
do we build intentionality in these 3 areas? In the spiritual
Yeah.
intimacy,
So
in the soul area, and in
you
the
have a
in the in the
structure,
body layer.
have
Talk about it. If
activities
you
to
are
do
not married,
together,
have you should measure the
go
where
out
you.
together.
If you are not married, major on spiritual and soul.
Yes,
If you are
this
married,
was what helped us.
yeah.
I read that book. We just narrowed on spirit and soul. So there was no intentionality of no what's in this, what's in your head, what's in
What
my
are you
head,
what are you
what
thinking
are you
about? What
thinking?
challenge are you going through? How do you
What
go
do you
about it
like?
together? You
Let's
understand? If it's
practice. Yeah.
financial, how do you go about it? If it's somebody disturbing you, how do you go about it? Whatever the case may be, it's a spiritual, trend or pattern. How do you
Yeah.
be there? So when you now go to the married part, you now explore the physical very well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. We appreciate you for liking, sharing, and subscribing.
Yeah.
And this is my beautiful wife here.
This is my beautiful husband. Yeah.
I'm gonna end it there.